Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace be upon you and welcome to my channel. To start off, I just want to clear something that in this video, I'm not trying to say that music is not permitted in Islam. I think that's another topic, but I'm talking about my reasons and why I stopped making music. So first things first, I've been making music for the last 8 years now, and I got more serious about it about 2 years ago. Since then, I've been marketing myself as an artist, and at the same time, I got to work with some relatively big names and some great people. And with the time, money, and energy that I had invested in music, I did see myself going down this path a lot more seriously. My dreams and ambitions for this career were to play in nightclubs and to perform at music festivals like Coachella, Ultra, EDC, Tomorrowland, and honestly, it was looking like a promising career to me. So one thing I believed about myself as an artist was that my intentions were good and I wanted to make people feel some kind of emotion or some kind of happiness with my music, regardless of my doubts about music from a religious perspective. One thing that was always at the back of my mind during this time was that even though my intentions were good, I thought about what good was coming out of my music. When I was thinking about playing these music festivals and these nightclubs, who would I be entertaining? Who would be my audience? And when I started thinking about it, in a way, I realized that I would end up in a place where the culture and the environment around would be pulling me away from the true values of Islam. So regardless of all of these thoughts and realizations, I still didn't take any action and I still went on spending all of my free time making more and more music. I still had my doubts. It was always still in the back of my mind, but one thing that I did was that I kept making dua and I kept asking Allah for guidance. Alright, so all that aside, alhamdulillah, this Ramadan I went for i'tikaf. For those of you who don't know what i'tikaf is, it's when you spend the last 10 days of Ramadan in the masjid, disconnected from the world, in search of Laylatul Qadr. In i'tikaf, I got to meet some amazing people. People who were going to Medina for their education, people who were volunteering, people who were learning Arabic in their free time, people who were raising funds for these Muslim countries, while I was spending all of my free time doing something that I knew in the end would lead me astray. And in this i'tikaf, it finally hit me, and I wanted things to change. Another thing in i'tikaf, you're supposed to disconnect yourself from the outside world and instead use your time to ponder, to reflect, to make dua, to make prayers. So what I did was I deleted my social media for the last 10 days to avoid any distractions. That got me thinking about social media. I think that social media is a potential minefield, and if you don't learn to navigate through it, it can really harm you. A lot of the times, social media for me had been a waste of time, and I felt that I wasn't gaining much out of it. So being away from social media for the 10 days was an experience on its own. It was a feeling of relief and a feeling of freedom. I thought about the modern day influencers on social media and what they talk about. Some of them have a young Muslim following, and a lot of the times these influencers are publicly doing things that are influencing the Muslim youth negatively, and the youth is getting affected by that. So I thought, what if I started my YouTube? What would I do differently? One thing for sure was to not have content which could in any way negatively impact our youth. I thought, why do I have to wait for someone else to start their YouTube with this purpose? Why can't it just be me? And the second that thought came into my mind, I feel Allah turned my heart away from wanting to pursue a career in music. I was ready to give it all up. Just like that, all the projects I'd been working on, I suddenly didn't care about them anymore. I realized I could be spending my time doing something a lot more productive while also having a creative outlet of a sort, something to replace all the time I was spending making music. So I actually did it. This is my first YouTube video. I honestly have no idea what my future content is going to be about, but I have faith in Allah and I know that Allah is going to help me. So that is it. That is how I gave up making music. One thing I want to say before I end this video is that I'm still in the process of learning, and this will be my way of sharing my journey with you. So keep your eye out for future content and feel free to follow me on social media. I'll have the links down below. In this video, if I've said anything wrong, may Allah forgive me. And if there's anything that I have said that you don't agree with, feel free to reach out to me. And finally, Jazakallah, and thank you so much for watching. Assalamu alaikum.